Good morning, America. This is your silver son speaking, Jonathon. And today is November 9th, Tuesday, 2021. Today I would like to talk to you about the future, our future, the future of not just the real world, but alternate realities, this, that, the other. I would like for the viewer to realize that in the next 100 years, there is only going to be two possible outcomes. Environmentally, so one of those worlds is an ice age that was predicted by Thom Yorke at Radiohead, in which the Atlantic tidal currents that move from the Caribbean in the Atlantic all the way across the Atlantic easterly until they reach Scandinavia. This provides much, oceanographers can explain it better, but this provides a warm body of water flowing into the north and into the Baltic Sea, and that is the main reason why you get these warm, balmy type of situations in that region. Now, according to Greta Thunberg, these tidal currents are slowing down. These tidal currents, as the ocean is getting more acidic, temperature in the water is heating up. But in this case, the tidal currents are slowing down. And people have surmised that if it breaks down, then that warm water, that warm heat won't reach that region, and it could put the northern hemispheres into a new ice age. There's also a movie that loosely tries to connect the dots in similar fashion as I tried to, and it's called The Day After Tomorrow with Dennis Quaid. Now, the other world, the world that we're on track to create, is a world on fire. It's lit quite literally on fire, like it is now. A desertified world where heat waves are the norm, and there is no distinct season. There's no distinct seasons between winter and summer. Any kind of living plant or flora is dead. They can't survive the ultra high temperatures, 50 to 60 degrees Celsius plus. Rivers and lakes will dry up, and in the next 1,000 years, the oceans will dry up too. It probably will take more than 1,000 years, but at these temperatures, who knows? Now, my higher power God, him, has reminded me repeatedly that there is no magical wand that we can fix this. There's no there's hardly any type of technological situation to kind of balance it out at an industrial level. And desertified deserts, as far as you can see, and where nothing lives, no plants, no animals. It's just one big desert. Every landmass would be a desert. So, you have an ice world, an ice age, and a world on fire that's dead, where nothing grows. And as you can see, like, with these outcomes, as you can see down the road, hundreds, thousands of years, you can pretty quickly see which outcome is going to win. Right now, the outcome that's going to win is that there's going to be extreme heat waves, droughts, famines, of that nature, and we're gonna not be able to put the fire out. As Billy Joel said, we didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world was turning. I don't know about that. But anyway, the world is burning, and it is on fire, even if the fire is some type of ethereal, spiritual flame. Anyway, it's on fire. So there is nothing that we can do en masse except try and plant trees, seaweed, renewables. We have to try to act, to get our leaders to act now. The dawn of tomorrow is about to begin. Tomorrow is a world that I can see firing up, booting up in the next 9 years. So what to expect with the Ice Age? Blizzards, polar vortexes, temperatures where it is so bitterly frozen that any exposure to the elements, we're talking about 40, 50 degrees below. And we have the Inuits up in the Arctic on the northern hemisphere in Canada. They know how to survive in the Arctic. We have the high robots who put on their Gore-Tex puffer jackets, go into the snow to pursue a record at the Moguls or Slalom. They know how to survive in the winter. So there's really not a whole lot of options, because if this ice age occurs, it's going to be predominantly northern hemisphere, and the southern hemispheres, I really think it could go global. It really depends how serious the shutdown of these Atlantic currents, these tidal currents. It really depends on how much, to the degree that they're slowing, and to the degree that they're because it comes from the Caribbean. Caribbean has winters. They have mild winters. You can still get 70, 80 degrees Fahrenheit in the middle of winter in Florida. So yeah, these tidal currents are a major factor in how the weather changes and is how it's depicted on your television screen on the 6 o'clock news. On another note, you're going to find two different types of people in the debate that would like to try to influence people's decision towards an ice age or to an age of the desert and infernal fiery flames. A lot of Satans, people who are satanically in charge with the Dark Lord, they usually have put out their own flames or had their flames put out by someone else in the belly. They would seem like they would be the cold-blooded types that would want a world that is on fire and has 50, 60 degrees Celsius days. They said people like that would try and have a crack. In terms of the Ice Age people, Satans wouldn't really survive if the world was going to enter a new Ice Age. They would be bitterly stricken with the cold and would freeze to death. On the other side of the winter walkers, you have people who are literally on fire, flames in the belly, who are warm-blooded, and who have an internal heating system, much like most humans. And they probably would prefer to go with the ice or snow age. Now there's internal heating. We have the appropriate clothing for these extremes, but it really is a world of extremes that are diametrically opposed to each other and are constantly these forces might converge, and they might it could be some kind of apocalyptic war that would wage around the planet between winter walkers, ice walkers, cold-blooded people, and the other side. But for that case, like most Dark Lords are on fire. So these Dark Lords would have to give heating, fuel, reserves to the other Satans to keep them warm on the inside, and for them to try to make the most of the apocalypse. Yeah, so, and with this world on fire, like the Arctic is the permafrost in the Arctic. I cannot state this or overly refer to this, reiterating the point that the methane in that permafrost would melt for a very, very long time. Hundreds of years, methane could still be seeping out of that permafrost and putting the planet into an irrecoverable situation. So, what do we do? Where do we go from here? It kind of seems that capitalism is the energy, is the machine that people harness in their day-to-day lives. They lube up the nuts and bolts, and they tow around motherships and bullet trains and stuff like that. Capitalism has caused this dystopian future for us. A neoliberalism and its inherent doctrine and trickle-down economics. Like, I mean, you don't own that. I mean, you have your quarter acre. You have your 2-story house with a pool in the back and a. But this is what they've done to the experiment that people refer to when it comes to this crazy science project of the Matrix, and which has been debunked. I mean, it is a mathematical universe, and the architect does wish for people to believe it's more of a God's there with his lab coat and his stethoscope, and just making surmising certain situations about certain attitudes about certain people in different situations around the world. And the Matrix, this is not the Matrix, okay, robots? It's not. These situations are real. And we can laugh at these billionaires because, thank you very much, Sir Buffett. Thank you very much, Bill Gates. Thank you very much, the elite who own this. I mean, this is their responsibility to take care of the planet. I mean, to take care of the people who are trying to make a living and trying to get by. That is their future right now. That's everyone's future. this world on fire. Deserts everywhere, nothing growing, desolate. Looks like Mars. That is their future, and that's what they've done to themselves by not jumping on the renewable bandwagon. So, if anyone comes to you in 1,000 years and says, want to buy some land? Like, no, that's not land, that's a desert. What am I going to do with a desert? Make glass? Work for Windscreens O'Brien? I don't think so. So the only rational term, and one thing we can do, like if things get really, really dire, is for the elites to take their money out of the system, out of these economies, and plunge the world into a deep, dark, cold recession. Which is basically breaking the system. Taking the money out and so much that it can't be put back in. So we can break it. We can break it and people can go back to their lives. We can all grow our own vegetables. We can turn towards renewables and embrace these technologies that we have, that we still have a chance in order to kind of fight this problem, this existential crisis. So there you go, people. Ice or fire? I hope that you can choose the ice, because snow is materialized water, frozen water, snowflakes. And water is the element in which life can propagate. There's nothing out there in our future right now for this desertified, dead swaths of desert, and there's just, we can deal with the snow, we can deal with the ice age. It's going to be tough. There's still going to be some kind of semblance of seasons between summer and winter. Not so much in the northern hemispheres, but definitely in the south. But yeah, it's water is life. So look up that song by Thom Yorke at Radiohead, who says Ice Age is coming, in Kid A, the album Kid A, and realize that it can happen, and most likely will, as an intercessionary force and power, the powers that be realize that we have to do this in order to survive. So thank you very much for tuning in. Take care, all the best. Adios.